Thumbs up. Alright. Gonna be a short workout tonight, guys, by the way. Remember, we got competition in like 2 days with this gym as our sponsor. So Saturday we'll be on the platform. But we still gonna get it in today and a little bit tomorrow. What's up, Mark? All right. All right, let's get this warm up going. Oh, that's bad to hear, Michael Cooper. That's unfortunate. That is no good. No good at all. Sorry to hear that. All right. Let's add another plate. I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh yeah, we did go get the haircut today. Yeah, there's a, things like that happen. It's about readjusting yourself and, setting the foot in the right direction again, like trying to put yourself back on track. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. You are correct. 100%. Ooh. Yeah, I'm a little worn today. Had a busy day, but tomorrow is all about recovery. So we don't skip, Mark. We don't skip. We just add more pre-workout until the sleepies go away. Ugh. But we will do a light workout tomorrow. So tomorrow will be very similar to what we're doing tonight. We're going to be doing another set. We're going to be doing a double at single 315, a single 325 tonight, and then we're going to drop to 225 for a triple with pauses, and that's really all the benching we're going to do tonight. And then we're going to do 3 sets of curls, 3 sets of overhead, 3 sets of triceps. It's going to be 3 sets of 7 for almost everything tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to do similar. The only thing we're not doing 3 sets of is we're going to do very, very minimal deadlifting tonight, no squats. We're going to be doing 1 set of 135, 1 set of 225, and 1 hold of 405. And that's all we're doing tonight, deadlift, no squats. So, and that'll be the night. It'll be extremely light tomorrow. I think the heaviest we'll go tomorrow is probably like 225 on all of our lifts. So 225 bench, just some warm-up stuff, guys. So 225 bench, 225 curl, 225 single arm shoulder press, 225 lateral raise. Just some easy stuff. And You know, nothing major. All right, we gotta get into this. I need more plates. More plates. My sleep is usually trash before competition, Mark. Not because I'm nervous. It seems like it's universal. Every day, every competition day, I get sick like 72 hours beforehand, and I go to competition. I've been sick at almost every competition that I've ever competed at. Like I've had a cold, the flu, a stomach bug every single time. For some reason, cannot seem to not get sick before competition. But good news is we've made it all the way to competition time without getting sick this week. So I'm just gonna avoid any flus or anything between now and Saturday morning. Little pause, 3:15. But yeah, tired is definitely the word today. But that makes sense. I knew I was going to be tired coming into tonight. I'm also obviously not super carved up right now because we are not restricting ourselves at the moment, but our carbs are a lot lower than normal because we obviously have to make weight. So yeah, that'd be awful, Mark. It'd be awful. But we'll carb up super heavy on Saturday morning after weigh-in. So I'll be doing like period updates throughout the morning and the afternoon as we do the meet, and I'll like do a video where I eat and everything else, so you guys can see kind of what the day looks like. So, but it's a lot. Like I weigh in usually around like 8 o'clock. You weigh in and you do like a lifters meeting. After that, I consume about like 1,500 calories for breakfast. But I think one it was my the Kingdom Clash. Yeah, the Kingdom Clash charity meet I did recently. Was it last? No, it wasn't recently. That was last year's meet. I did for breakfast was a pound of mac and cheese. That was my breakfast after weigh-in. Was a pound of mac. Oh, sorry, it was a gallon. It was a gallon bag of mac and cheese and turkey, ground turkey, and I ate that in my car. And I forgot my spoon, or I dropped my spoon. Didn't want to go in to wash it, so I ended up like cutting the end off the Ziploc bag, the gallon Ziploc bag I had it in. And you know, like those little push pops where you like squeeze them and you like a Go-Gurt, right? It was like a Go-Gurt, but a gallon bag of mac and cheese with turkey. So I was just like squeezing the gallon bag and like eating. It was a sight to behold. Okay. All right, 325, and then we've got our drops. Only 10 minutes into the bench right now. We did those first few sets pretty quick. I probably should have taken longer rest periods, but tonight is meant to be a very quick workout. It's supposed to be, because I'm supposed to get maximal rest as well pre-comp. So I'm supposed Realistically, every time I've done the pre-workouts or the pre-meet workouts, the like 3 days leading up, it's always been an hour or less for those workouts for the first like last 3 before the meet. So I'm not obviously no, we're not going to hit an hour. We're not going to be under an hour because we have the streaming portion, but we'll be close. So. All right. Yeah, Mark, if I get sick tomorrow, I'll be very upset. I think the only thing that could possibly get me would be like food related, like a stomach bug or like a food poisoning. Like that's the only way I could get got tomorrow, right? So, all right, let's grab this 325 real quick. Nothing super heavy. We're just gonna knock this out real quick, and then we'll drop it back down for our drop set. So. Depends on the session. Right now it's going to be a very short amount of reps. It's usually not a ton of reps, but today is going to be even shorter. So what's up, Chase? Just because we have competition in a couple days. So literally Saturday. Yeah, Mike, we're here for you, boss. We're here for you, boss. I'm all ears, man. All ears, of course. Yeah, things will get easier. They always do. I found that life is all about the processes, and everything's a process in life. Everything's a process in life. And you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, you're gonna accidentally take rights when you should have taken a left, you're gonna take lefts when you should have taken a right. It's just a matter of, are you further down the road than you were the last time, right? So, the primary item is know your destination, know where you want to be in life, and as long as, periodically you can say, I'm closer now than I was when I started to that destination, then you're doing well. We're gonna have detours, but it's all about always trying to get closer to that destination on average, right? So that's how I kind of live my life, right? It's like the gym. The gym is very similar. You're gonna have periods where your lifts don't go as well, or sometimes people even backtrack, or people miss days, or whatever else, but as long as you're on average getting healthier, on average getting stronger, or getting closer to whatever goal you're trying to achieve, the detours happen. We just keep pushing in the right direction, and eventually we end up where we want to be. How's it going, Jaden? Welcome to the stream. Not to say that it's not a bad feeling that you have had that happen, Michael. And nothing that I'm going to say is probably going to change, your feelings on it tonight. But, the law of, let's say law of averages here or something along those lines. As long as your net average is doing better or progressing towards your goal, then you're doing well. But we're all ears here, of course, Michael. So, all right, let's grab this drop set. I'm gonna do some pause reps, 3 to 7. We'll see how it feels. And then we've got to do curls. I don't know what type of curls we're doing tonight. Probably some preacher curls. So, for quarterbacks, honestly, for quarterbacks, you're going to have to be pretty well rounded. We'll talk about it in a second, because that's a big question. Give me a second. one pause rep. Best workout for quarterbacks. There's not really, I wouldn't say there's like a best workout. When it comes to sports guys, there's not really there's not like a one workout that everybody in a certain position should be doing, because when it comes to sports, there's so many different elements involved. Like as a quarterback, you got to be physically capable, obviously, but you also have to be, agile. You have to be able to make explosive movement, which being too bulky while making explosive movement can be difficult for a lot of people. Because it's great to be strong, but as a quarterback, you also want to be able to move out of the way of things pretty quickly, especially considering the more you get hit on the football field, the worse you perform, long-term and short-term during that game. So working on explosive cardio movement, not like endurance type cardio, but like short explosive like sprints, would probably be the most ideal for you on that field. That being said, you still need to be physically capable. You still got to be able to do all the other tasks that come along with that. But that would probably be the most beneficial thing. Stuff like your ladders, like your ladder work, or maybe some low weight kind of really explosive squat work, kind of like those quarter squats you see people doing where they come down here and explode up. Stuff like that. Build that really, really explosive strength when it comes to your lower body. And then coordination exercises are going to be super important, because you want to be able to move your body in ways that most people can't, while also focusing on other things going on. So coordination is going to be a big deal, balance and things along those lines. It's not your traditional workouts. You can be good at bench and have that be beneficial as a quarterback, sure, but most quarterbacks aren't going to be as concerned with their bench press numbers as, maybe a running back or something, All right, let's peel this down, guys. All right. Curls are next. Honestly, I don't know what the average one rep max for a quarterback is. Generally, your quarterbacks, they're like, if you look at like the they do 225 for reps, obviously, when they test their benches. They're not typically your big benchers, so they're not really as concerned about that. They're looking more for someone that can move a little bit quicker from place to place and keep their eyes on the target. Quarterback's a very big mental game as well. You have to be able to understand that you have to do a thing while everybody's trying to hit you. It's a lot of mental stress there. So explosive movement and working on being able to focus under pressure are going to be big things. So, what's up, Jay? I haven't seen Rich tonight yet. What's up, Josh? I would say most quarterbacks aren't doing 405 on the bench or even 315, even in the NFL. It's just not beneficial. I'm not saying that they couldn't if they trained for it. Obviously, that level of athleticism, if you decided to do that, you probably can. So it's a matter of they're not trying to do so. They're trying to, their goals are different, right? As a quarterback, I'm not concerned about, how much I can move a person as much as how much I can move out of the way of a person. Does that make sense? How you doing, Jay? You been good, Jay? I'm not a. What are you talking? Mark is probably trying to ignore you, or he's eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. One of the two. Okay, calisthenic. I'm not sure what your issue is. Did I miss? I don't know what happened. Oh, you're talking to random. I got you. What's up, Jay? Or Jay, were you at the beginning of the stream? I said hello. I was saying hello. I was wondering what was going on. Are you caught up now? I said hello as soon as you dropped in. I don't know why you would skip those things. I don't know why you would skip curls. Could a powerlifter get away with skipping curls? A little bit, sure. Your biceps, your back. I mean, all of these muscles work together to make things easier, right? Your bench is going to be if you're not doing curls on a routine basis. Rich guy hasn't been in here yet, Jay. He hasn't been here yet. I haven't seen him tonight. Obviously, let's say bench press, right? Your triceps, your chest, those are your primary movers. Shoulders are helpful, but if your back is weak or your biceps are weak, there is some stabilization that happens with those muscle groups that you don't want them to be weak for those movements, especially things like your back. If you have a weak back and a weak core on the bench, you're going to feel every pound so much more, if you even be able to move it. I mean, as a power lifter, you should be working your biceps, you should be working your back, you should be working your glutes. These are important muscle groups. But some neglect them. I appreciate it, Jay. Appreciate it, Michael Cooper. No, yeah, that slump sometimes, Michael, it can get to you. It can get to you. But I'll be streaming. And I'm sure you'll recover well, Michael. You'll get back on track quick. So, is there science on how to increase bench press weight? Kind of. So everybody's a little different in how they increase their lifts. Some people, a 5x5 works for them really well forever. Like they never have to really deviate. Some people need to deviate often and kind of keep the muscles kind of training differently on a routine basis. Otherwise, they plateau a lot. For me, I found that my routine works well and it continues to work, so I don't need to deviate much. But obviously, my routine also has a lot of changes in it naturally, right? There's a lot of things I do on not a routine basis that help keep my body growing. But I know people that they do like 5x5s or they do pyramids every time they bench, every time they curl, every time they shoulder press, and that's awesome because it works for them. And it's been working for them for 10, 15 years. I know guys that bench, 500 pounds, and they do pyramids every time they bench, and it works. So there's science behind it, obviously, but if you move heavy thing often and eat enough and sleep enough, heavy thing will get easier to move. That's the science behind it, right? Eat well, sleep well, move heavy objects on a regular basis. Your body will adapt and grow muscle fiber to help you do what you're doing. it's a rule. Your body will adapt automatically to make your task that you do routinely easier. It's specificity. If every day you wake up and the first thing you do and the last thing you do every day, all day, you go to work and your entire job is pick up a 50-pound box, put 50-pound box on the shelf. Pick up 50-pound box, put 50-pound box on the shelf. Pick up 50-pound box, put 50-pound box on the shelf. Guess what your body's going to do? Your body's going to make your shoulders stronger, your triceps stronger, your forearms stronger. Why? Because you're doing something that requires those muscles routinely. Your body wants to make your routine day as easy as possible and as less as little strain as possible. Reduce the strenuousness of your daily activity to conserve energy and calories. The trick is that your body is not doing this just for funsies, right? Your body says, okay, we're doing this every day. There's a reason we're doing it, obviously, right? We need to make it easier so we don't spend as many calories doing it. Because your body is basically a big machine that tries to make itself really good at not dying. And the thing that makes us die more often than anything else is lack of sustenance. So our bodies have this adaptability from, when we didn't have a lot of available food, that it tries to make us really good at operating very efficiently and very lean, right? So in order to do that, it adds muscle to areas that are beneficial to our day-to-day routines. So that is vaguely the science behind it, kind of. There's a lot more intricacy to it, but that's a lot to explain on stream, and it was already kind of long-winded. So let's get another set of 7 here. So I'm okay. I don't plan on squeezing at the top. I don't personally take a protein powder. I get a lot of protein from dairy, so I don't need to. So I have a split opinion on the making noise when you lift heavy. Who was it talking about that again? Random? I think, so there is actual science behind the release of air or making noise while you're lifting. It does. Milk's right there. There's actual science behind the fact that does actually help you lift the weight. Not even just from a mental standpoint, but there is actually a physical response to it. There's a physical response to that. It's a stimulus. So while there is people that do it in excess, it does actually have a physical use. So during lift, after lift, before lift, there is some science behind it. Those back slaps you see power lifters or lifters doing where they slap each other's shoulders, there's science behind that too. There's a reason why all that happens. It gets lost in, the gym bro-ness of everything, but they all have purpose, or they did at one point. Well, 175 the next one. I don't skip the gym if I'm sleep deprived, no. I've shown up to the gym on 2 hours of sleep. I've shown up to the gym on an hour of sleep. I don't miss the gym. Even if I have to get in here and do a 45 or an hour quick session, I get in here. I at least do my big movements. I do not miss the gym. I've shown up to the gym with the flu. I've worked out with COVID, with stomach bugs. I've worked out with all of that. Now I prefer to work out without other people around, obviously, so that gets tricky. Luckily, I have access to gym equipment that other people don't, so I can work out without risking other people's health. But I work out if I'm sick, if I'm tired, if I don't get injured very often. I've never had a serious injury, but I've had like minor tweaks. I work out with those. That is a personal choice. It's not for everybody. I'd rather be consistent and feel like crap that day personally. Exactly, it's consistency. I'd rather be consistent and feel like crap one day and recover and get back to it the next day than miss a day and find an excuse to miss another day, and then it finds an excuse to miss another day. One excuse leads to two, leads to three. It opens that door. It opens that door to inconsistency, and inconsistency kills discipline. So, all right, let's do this for a quick triple. All right, we got a single coming up. Like I said, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody. I like machines. I like cables. So here's my opinion on Planet Fitness. I think Planet Fitness, while it has its purpose within the fitness industry, it is a bit of a disingenuous business in and of itself. Their business model is based around people not showing up for their workouts. So if that's your business model, I'm sorry, I can't get behind you, right? Also, the lack of free weights, which I think they're remedying, so that's a good step in the right direction. Maybe they're going to get better about this stuff. Not having a bench, traditional bench, not great. I don't get labs done very often, Josh, about once a year. I've gotten two done this year. Two sets of labs done, but nothing like very intricate. But I have to get my levels done on a routine basis. Obviously, I don't have a thyroid, so my stuff is monitored to some extent. But my blood pressure, heart rate, I even had an EKG done this year. Everything is doing well. All my labs are very good, very normal. So I will tell you one thing that does happen when I go to the doctor, right? Yep, gamer game, that's exactly how many. So 3 comes after 2, but it's before 4. So 3, yeah. So the one thing that I do have a fun time with when I go to the clinic or the doctor or wherever you go, right? My local doctor's office, is they always have to break out the large blood pressure cuff, the one that goes around your bicep. Top tier moment. They had to break out the XL last time, the XL blood pressure cuff. Super exciting moment, obviously. It's happened 2 or 3 times to me in life now. The last few years, they've had to break out the XL blood pressure cuff. So that's always a fun time. Always a fun time. Top tier moments in life, you know what I'm saying? It's the little things sometimes. Random turns 65 this year. 65 this year, don't let them lie to you. All right, we've got a heavy single, maybe a double here. Heavy single or a double. And then we've got to do triceps, guys. So triceps, we're going to do 3 sets of 7, I think, tonight. But we'll see, maybe 4 sets. We'll do a few sets of 7. But let's grab this. Just a single, maybe a double. All right. It's a full brick. It's everything that this thing comes with. 210. 210. Wait. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. I've decided to keep the mustache for a while, guys, by the way. Can I do 12 plates on leg press? Probably. I don't leg press very often. It's not the greatest movement when it comes to powerlifting, I'll be honest. Leg press, well, it does work your legs, don't get me wrong. It's not an amazing movement. It's not my go-to leg movement for sure. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've definitely done 12. I think the most I've ever put on a leg press is like 900 pounds. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 950. I've never really gone over that. I appreciate you being here, Michael. Appreciate you being here. Bench press gamer. Always going to be bench press. Bench press is the best workout. It's the best exercise. I do a 6-day-a-week full body workout. 6-day-a-week full body workout. Heavy. Monday through Saturday. Sometimes, Josh. Sometimes I do a small separation. But if I'm gonna do something like that, I'd just go with like the V handle, or I'd go with a different handle. With this one, with the press downs, I like to keep them nice and center. I feel like I get a better focus in on the triceps when I do that. I also hit the lower pectoral a little bit heavier. So if you guys have ever wondered, like, Chris, why do you lean over your ropes when you're doing these? Because you'll see, I set up almost the same way every time. I set in on my shoulder here on whichever side, right? I lean up over the rope and I bring them underneath my body, right? So you see how they're underneath my body here, right? I'm also hitting pectoral, low pectoral here. So I come up here, explosive press down, right? So hitting the tricep, and I'm also hitting low pec. So there's a reason, everything I do has a reason. Some of it looks like, oh, that's not how I seen the other guy do it. It's because the other guy's not doing it for the same reason. Or he's not doing, he could not be doing it right, but more than likely it's just different purpose, right? So you always see I lean into and then ultimately over my ropes. But you'll see there's that small degree of separation and then up. So that's 3, 4, and 7, right? So, on this, I don't recommend it. Time under tension exists, but it has very limited use in what I'm doing. For bodybuilding, time under tension is a thing that can be useful depending on what your goal is at the time, but I think it's exaggerated how important that time under tension with movements like this is. It's definitely exaggerated. But here's what I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit of something, right? So one of the reasons why time under tension is so heavily exaggerated in the fitness world, every trainer, every coach, I can say 90% of your trainers, 90% of your coaches, 90% of your fitness YouTubers or influencers or whatever you want to call it, right? Anytime they're telling you how to do a workout or trying to get you a better workout, they're hyper focused on time under tension, right? And super slow controlled reps, almost always, no matter what your goal is. Sometimes that's good, and some of the people are doing it from a genuine standpoint, but a lot of them are just trying to force you to have basically build up lactic acid in your muscle and feel spent, feel like the workout's working, right? Because there's a difference between being tired and having your muscles feel worn out and actually getting a good workout in that muscle group, right? I can make anybody's legs hurt, right? That's easy. You could walk in the door right now. Anybody could walk in the door right now, regardless of fitness level, and I can make their legs feel like they're gonna fall off within 35 minutes of them walking in the door. I don't care who they are, right? It's a very base level of knowledge you need to know to do that. But to get an actual good workout is where the separation comes in with coaching and just trying to smoke people, right? If you just want to get smoked walking in the gym and feel like you got a good workout, anybody can do that with basic level knowledge. It's the real coaches that you'll see results from. You might come in one day and your legs are completely destroyed. The next time you work out with them, you walk out and your legs don't feel like they're going to fall off. They feel like they did when you walked in. There's reasons for it. The abduction machine. So I'll show you guys when we move back over that direction to do rows. But there's one piece of equipment that I don't care who you are, it messes with everybody. Nobody likes it. And I'll show you that piece of equipment here in a second. And you guys aren't gonna guess what it is. It's hilarious, but it is. There's two pieces of equipment, but. That's about right for here as well. Law enforcement out here makes in that range to start, maybe slightly less. When I went to go work for the prison, even at the max with all the incentives, working at the maximum, the level 3 here, level 3 plus, even with all of our incentives, we were still under 50 to start. At the prison here in South Carolina. So, it was a decent little gig, but wasn't it? Yeah, 150K here is well above even the high average in South Carolina. If you're making 150K in South Carolina a year, you're doing very well. Doing very well. Extraordinarily well. You're living good. I don't know about everywhere else. Obviously, that money is going to feel different in New York, then it's going to feel different in California. But in South Carolina, 150 grand, you are not going to struggle. So, or you shouldn't be. All right. So those two pieces of equipment. There's two pieces of equipment in this gym right now that I guarantee, no matter who it is, they are going to put in work, right? This band right here, I don't care how fit you think you are walking into a gym. This little band here, sometimes they're rubber like this, but these bands, they always have like a little circle. Go up around your feet and up around above the knee here, and small squat, out for distance down and back the gym. 2 or 3 of those, I don't care who you are, your legs are on fire. Your hips are about to fall, or about to separate and fall off. Everybody, I don't care who you are. If you haven't tried it and you want to make your glutes burn, this is it. This is it. And then the other item, very non-assuming item in the gym. If you've never used one and you want to work on your forearms a little bit and have some fun with it, I don't think it's the #1 forearm workout in the world, but this little stick and rope right here looks so unassuming. It's like, Chris, that's just a stick and a rope. How hard could that be? How hard could that be? This thing right here, horrendous to work with. Arms out straight and you roll it and you attach the weight at the end here. So you wrap this around a plate. You don't need like 10, 25 pounds on this thing. And you just make sure you're rolling it. You're not, you can speed run. I don't care if you speed run it or not. Roll it and then you unroll it back the other direction. Forearms on fire. Forearms, shoulders, biceps, your whole body, it starts to shudder, all right? And it's just a stick and a rope. I'm telling you. Some of the most non-assuming items in the gym are what'll get you. Or what'll get you. I'm going to tell you what I think is one of the most used items in the gym that I almost never use. And people love the ab roller. The ab roller. Absolutely trash in my opinion as far as actual workout. But people love it because it's hard. It feels like you're doing something. But I don't think it's very good, honestly. I've never... there's so many better ways to work your abdominals. Ab rollers, in my opinion, are like a bottom tier ab workout. That being said, I'm not bad at an ab roller. I'm okay at it. I'm not like amazing at ab rollers, but I'm okay at them. So it's not like I just don't like them because they're hard. They are hard. Ab rollers are hard. They feel hard. They suck. But they're not the greatest ab workout. You talking about the chest fly and the delta? I love those. I'm a big fan of those. I'm biased though. I really like those. Is it the best chest workout ever invented or the best delt workout ever? No, but I like them. They're not bad. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. They're a good interim chest item, interim back item. They're not. I wouldn't make it my only chest movement. So that's fair, Randy. All right, let's get this row going. We got 3 sets here. We got 3 sets of shoulders. This is your favorite machine? Is it because of the poster? It's always because of the poster. Everybody always talks about this machine, and it's never because of the machine. Oh, the fly, okay. I love preacher curl machines. I've actually had to pull myself back on the preacher curl machines a bit. So what I found is that if I let myself decide based on what I feel like doing every night, I end up on a preacher curl or a cable curl for my curl movement almost universally. They're such a fun movement. They just feel so good. And they're one of those movements that like it's a cool movement. It just feels good. It looks good. And I have to pull myself back. I'm like, you have to do your barbell. You have to do your easy bar. You have to do your dumbbell. But if all of the curls were created equal, which they're not, obviously, if all the curl movements were created equal and they were all the same, I would opt into the preacher curl like 9 times out of 10 or the cable curl. But obviously we need a mixture. So that being said, I still preacher curl like twice a week. Not as much a fan of seated dumbbell as I am standing dumbbell, but I do seated dumbbell once in a blue moon. So, all right, let's grab another set here. What's up, Eagles? Yeah. All right, one more set here, and then we've got to hit shoulders. We did a shoulder machine yesterday, so we'll probably do dumbbell shoulders tonight. We have shoulders, and then we'll hit deads, and that'll be the night. We got comp on Saturday. I'm excited. I'm excited. Sleep is highly important. Yes. What's up, Max? How you doing? Sleep is highly important. Now, that being said, my sleep has been kind of trash for like 2 weeks. But yeah, so workout equipment array has gone up so much over the last, like, since COVID. Workout equipment has just skyrocketed. There's none of that here. Welcome back, Pisani. Still natural. In fact, I have another powerlifting meet on Saturday. Natural powerlifting meet. It's crazy. I got you. I know. I hear you. Cables for shoulders. I've worked with a couple shoulder machines that use cables. I don't like them that much, I'm gonna be honest. I get the concept of them. I understand they work, but they just don't feel as good. If I'm gonna do a machine for shoulders, I'm gonna do a plate loaded or a block loaded. We don't stretch here, Sue. We don't stretch here. So, all right, I'm gonna get another set here, guys. We get another set here, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit shoulders. I'm debating on what type of shoulders we're about to do, though. We might get stuck doing the machine tonight because there's other people here. So we might get stuck doing the machine tonight. We'll see. I'm gonna take up a lot of real estate. You know, so I haven't stretched pre-workout in like 3 or 4 years. I don't stretch before my workouts or after my workouts. The most stretching I do is in the morning when I'm waking up, and that's just getting out of bed. A pre-workout stretch actually increases your risk of injury. That's a newer study that was done like a year or two ago. But there was a uptick in risk of injury and a reduced power output with pre-workout static stretching. I no injuries. I have not had any serious injuries, 0, and I have not stretched in over 4 years pre or post workout. So if anybody's going to be the case study, no stretch. I'm talking about none. Like, maybe by accident, like I go to pick something up and I have to reach high to get it, right? And I have good mobility. Like, I'm not super immobile. Like, I can still reach the center of my back, you know? I can still wipe efficiently. And I can still touch my toes. I think it's overstated the importance of it. If you want to know the best way to warm up for a movement, my opinion, right? My opinion, best way to warm up for any movement, any workout, is just do that workout really, really light. If I want to curl, instead of doing stretches on my arms or the shoulders or whatever I decide to stretch, right? If I'm about to curl, I'm going to go and grab like a third of what I'm going to be working with work weight wise, and I'm going to do a couple sets to warm up. When I get on the bench and do 135, that's my like pre-workout warm-up, right? That's to get the body moving and the blood flowing. The only part of a stretch, in my opinion, that's super beneficial for the actual workout itself is the blood getting pushed into the muscle, the really good oxygenated, fresh oxygenated blood getting pushed into that muscle. It is technically stretching, yes. Now, so I do from time to time recommend stretches post-workout for my clientele that are newer to working out because it helps prevent being super sore post-workout. But that's usually the extent of it, right? So I usually have them do it post-workout, and then I'll have people stretch before they lay down or become sedentary for the day, right? So stretch after your workout, and then stretch before you stop doing things for the day. Help promote that little bit last bit of blood flow before you stop doing things. Get that fresh oxygenated blood into the muscle group before you go to sleep. You wake up, you're like a half as sore as you would have been, you know? You're not gonna be not sore, but you'll be less sore. But pre-workout static stretch, you will never in a million years see me doing it. So, I'm not saying that you should do it, it's just that's a personal preference, right? If you feel better stretching before your workout, stretch. Stretch. It's not going to harm you. Like the study says there's an increased risk of injury, but it's very minimal. It's not significant. And unless you're powerlifting, I think it was a very small reduction in overall power output for the test group. If you're not in a powerlifting meet, you probably don't have to worry about that either. If you like to stretch, and if you feel like you feel better post or doing your workout after stretching than you do if you don't stretch, then you should stretch. What makes you feel good during your workout and feel efficient and feel safe during your workout and feel like you're reducing your risk of injury, that mental game is way more important than that small smidgen increase or decrease of said items, right? If you're mentally not there because you're forcing yourself not to do something that makes you feel better about your workout or feel better physically, your mental game is gonna mess you up anyway, so do it. Why not? Ugh, yeah, knees are never a fun one to have swell up on you. Okay, so knees are no fun to have swell up on you. But hamstring injuries, Achilles injuries, anything in this from your hip down, terrible recovery because you use them all the time. It limits you so much during your recovery that you have that muscle degradation from not being able to bear weight on it or having to bear weight very, very seldom. You have a lot of degradation. I know a few people that have had injuries in those areas, of assorted types and severities, and the recoveries are always the worst for those. Shoulders, is it specific movements random that your shoulders acting up on you, or is it just like everything that's a push? Yeah, that sounds awful, Josh. That sounds terrible, actually. Sounds terrible. A little bit of duct tape though, Josh, just a little bit of duct tape. Some Gorilla Glue. So I'll tell you what, this is not something that I'm not recommending this for you, all right, random? I'm not recommending this for you. But one movement that I've had my clients do in the past that helped loosen up shoulder injuries before they start any push movement, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm not saying this is gonna help you. It could make it worse. Just fair warning, right? It shouldn't, but it could, because this is not a recommendation. This is what I have done in the past. Oh, I gotta state that very heavily here. All right. It's gonna look super, super simple, right? Super simple. And you're gonna be like, that's not gonna do much, Chris. That's crazy work, right? The tricks here is your back has to be super flat on this wall. Glutes have to be against the wall. Take the ball from here, tap it overhead. Just before you do your push movement. Do this 14 times before your push movement. Just like that. See if your shoulder still hurts. That's what I would do. Personally, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that's what I would do if I had a shoulder impingement that was just acting up every time I did a push. Let me know how it worked. Let me know how it goes. I've had really good results with that. I had a guy that he could not bench anymore. We did that movement, benched the same day, and recovered completely post that by doing that every time he did push movement. Completely recovered the shoulder. That's good, Michael. That's solid work. 54 with no injuries. It's not a lot of people doing that, getting that far without an injury. That's good. Knock on wood, by the way. Don't knock on wood, Michael, before you jinx yourself. If it feels like it's rubbing bone on bone, honestly, if it was me, I'd go get it looked at probably. All right, let me grab this real quick, guys. They're vaguely the same, Saray. Vaguely the same. Everybody has slight stance changes when it comes to stiff leg RDLs. I like different squat deadlift variations personally. I like to stick to my standards though, my standards. Stiff leg can be scary for a lot of people because it has a really strong stretch involved in it. I am a certified glute trainer. Yes, this is real. I legitimately have a glute certification. 20 credit hours, guys. 20 credit hours dedicated to learning about butts. So, and how they function. All right. Next up, I have a certificate on my wall that says glute certified. That says certified glute specialist. Certified glute specialist is what the certificate says. Look at that. We start talking about glutes and butts and Mark immediately back in the chat. Like that, instantaneously. Crazy work, Mark. Crazy work. It was like we summoned him with the word glute. All right. You ever need to talk to Mark? You say glute 5 times fast. He pops up instantly, like a genie in a lamp. It's. And then there's that. And then there's that. Oh, I forgot my other thing. We're going to do a shoulder machine today, guys, just for the sake of time. So, but we'll do dumbbells tomorrow probably. Full brick, of course. Hold on. Full brick. That's how we do it. That's how we do around here. We'll do front. Front? Yeah. No. Yeah, front. Maybe. Maybe we'll do one of each. I don't know. Lord. Let's drop this down one. See, I'm having a whole other conversation here, all right? We're having two different conversations. Two very different conversations. I'm talking about workout equipment. Me personally, I haven't had any super serious injuries. I would say the worst I've had, and it wasn't like severe, but the worst I've had was when I had a lat injury, like a minor lat injury. I pulled it. And that was a little detrimental, like 2 or 3 days of recovery. No, I would say the worst one wasn't that. That recovered pretty quick. So did this other one. But the worst one I've had, because of how limiting it was the back of my neck got twisted up at one point during a row. And it was just very hard to turn my head left and right. It was very tight. But it also recovered within like a 24-hour period. Yeah, it happened on the bench, believe it or not. No pinched nerves in my shoulder. Hey, Rich guy's here. What's up, Rich? Yeah, neck is one of those ones that just because you don't realize how often you turn your head until you can't turn your head without pain. So, if you go to turn your head and it's like super tight, you realize very quickly that you do that for everything. And so that day, basically the full day, we're gonna bypass that, Mark. So basically the full day that I had that tweak in the neck, I was having to like turn my whole body to look left and right. So if I wanted to look at something on my right, I had to like, it was very arduous. What are we doing? I don't know what you're talking about, Rich. Are you talking about the Discord? I haven't been in there in like a couple hours today. I've been very busy. What did you do? Did you do something to earn a removal from the Discord again? I'll look. I mean, I'm gonna find out. But what time did I start today? About an hour ago, vegan. Hour and 10 minutes ago. Like 11:30ish. Yeah, it sounds awful, Saray. So when I had my thyroid surgery, I wasn't able to turn my head left and right. I was told not to for a period of time, or to be very limiting with it. And when I went back to driving, so I was in bed for a month post-surgery, or I was in a bed in like low activity for about a month after that surgery. And getting back on the road and having to turn my head, like I wanted to like check my left and right to see if I had cars oncoming. So I'd be like at the intersection and I'd like turn. And by the time I turned my head the other direction, I had like 30 seconds over here for someone else to pull up. So I was constantly going, trying to get out into traffic. We're like exactly 177 dry. I'm like 180 with clothes on and a full stomach. So we'll go into competition about 177 dry. So, which is a good weight. It's a good weight. My carbohydrates are low compared to normal, but not low compared to like average person. So. Mark, I'll leave it up to the imagination. I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna say things and stuff, but I decided it wasn't worth it because nothing I'm gonna say is gonna help with whatever your next comment is. So nothing. So you weigh in. I'll weigh in about 30 or 40 minutes after I get there. I had a mass the size of an egg appear on my thyroid. That's why, Josh. I had an egg-sized mass appear overnight on my thyroid. I will lift very light tomorrow, Michael. Very light. Yeah, we've had to migrate to this for the night, Mark. All right. There will be no cardio. I don't do any cardio. Cardio is a non-item. If you ever see me doing cardio, something has happened, something is wrong. And not even just like a little bit wrong, something's very wrong if I'm doing cardio. No, blue, no. All right. Honestly, Rich, I probably wouldn't run from a bear. And you're like, Chris, you're just being overly confident with that. There's no way you're fighting a bear. Here's the thing. You've got two options if a bear attacks you. You can run or you can stand your ground. Now, here's what happens, right? Let's say bear attacks, grizzly bear, right? Attacks you. You take off. Grizzly bears are faster than you. Almost guaranteed. Almost guaranteed you're not outrunning that grizzly bear, right? Now, when the grizzly bear catches you, you're just gonna die tired, right? You're just gonna die tired and out of breath. I'd rather fight a grizzly bear not out of breath, all right? Plus, hear me out. If you're gonna get killed by a grizzly bear, might as well look cool while doing it. I'm throwing hands with the grizzly bear, all right? Might as well look cool going out, all right? Me and grizzly bear, I'm not going out like that. Go for the eyes, all right? Go for the eyes. I'm fighting dirty. I'm fighting dirty. Black bear, I think I've got a black bear. I could definitely choke one out if I had to. I wouldn't because they seem nice enough, but I've actually seen that movie, Saray. That's one I have seen. Oh, I 100%. A kangaroo, easy work. Kangaroos, easy work. Kangaroos are not that tough, guys. We're aware, Mark. Kangaroos are not that tough. All right. Gorillas, I've also got the gorilla. Not a problem. Someone did the math on it, so there's actually, I forget what he did. He does like something biomechanics. I can't remember, but he was educated in the field that would be able to determine this scientifically, and they did the math essentially, right, on how many average human males it would take to overwhelm and defeat a gorilla, right? Silverback gorilla. 10 human males will be enough on average to defeat a gorilla, and pretty easily, mind you, pretty easily. Yep, that was the math done. That was the math done. They did the math. So he broke it down, right? So all the way down to the types of muscle fibers that gorillas have, right? No tools, bare hands. This guy has like a doctorate in this stuff, right? Like he broke it down, the types of muscle fibers they have, the way that their legs and their upper torsos are made, all of that stuff. 10 human males are enough to take down a silverback gorilla with relative ease. 100 is like a slaughter. So people overestimate how capable a gorilla is. Mind you, so gorillas are really good at short bursts of stuff, right? I've talked about this, but he did confirm that this was like, with this whole thing, he did confirm it, right? But they have a lot of muscle fibers that are good at explosive movement, but they're also not very good at cardio. They're good at pushing movements as well because they have to push themselves up obstacles, but their lower body is actually extremely weak by comparison. Our lower bodies as humans are engineered way better than gorillas. Their upper bodies are engineered pretty ahead of the game for us, right? So their pectoral, their arms are a massive advantage, but our lower body and our upper body both being usable in this situation is a huge advantage. But it's not even like 10 was like a close bet. It was like 10 will win. That's another thing. So people say there's a fear factor, right? There's a fear factor. The 10 men are going to get scared and they're not going to be able to coordinate properly, right? Okay. Also, kicking is a big deal. Yes, Adam, kicking is a big deal. The fact that we have the ability to kick, gorillas aren't very good at that. So, but they say, okay, so the fear factor, right? They also have that, right? Imagine this. Okay, so imagine this. You have 10 people running at a gorilla. You're like, the gorilla's not gonna be scared of 10 people, right? Now imagine you had like 10 raccoons come at you at the same time. Even if you think you can take 10 raccoons, you're gonna have a second thought, right? You're gonna be like, okay, there's 10 raccoons chasing me, trying to kill me right now. I don't care how much bigger you are than said raccoons, you're gonna be a little frightened of 10 raccoons actively trying to kill you. You'd be surprised, Random. You'd be surprised. I'll put it in the Discord. I'll put the link to the video in the Discord where he breaks everything down. So
Yeah, try. Here's the thing. Do you think you could easily take 10 cats? Do you think you could easily take 10 household cats? You would get messed up pretty bad. It seems like it should be an easy win, but they're going to get you. 10 of them? 10 of them? You're going to get 3 or 4. And everyone you get your hands on is probably not going to do very well. But while you have one in each hand, the other one's getting you in the neck, right? You have a cat in each hand, the other one's getting you in the neck. I mean, one of them is going to get you in the eye. Like, you are going to have a bad day. 10 cats would be enough to take down the average human, all right? This is the best way to look at it. Best way to look at it. I would reckon that most people would take off if 10 squirrels started chasing them. If 10 squirrels started chasing them, most people would run, right? If 10 male humans went after a silverback, the silverback is going to be frightened. Yeah, gorillas aren't like bus-sized guys. Gorillas range anywhere from like 300 to 500 pounds. That's big, but it's not 10 human big, right? Overall mass, the humans outweigh the gorilla, right? The 10 humans. Ability to work together. Number one, you have teammates. The gorilla does not. You have legs and hands, right? You have superior intellect. No squats tonight, Michael, because of competition. We won't squat again at all this week. We won't be squatting again until competition day. We are going to deadlift though. I'm telling you, and no one's ever going to agree to this. No one's ever going to. Here's the thing: is it's one of those things that we're never really going to get the opportunity to see it. But there have been cases of people, human beings, fighting bears and winning by themselves. One person, hand to hand, boxing bears and winning. All right, I know it's not a gorilla, but that's one human beating a bear. This is documented. It's been in the news. It happened. It was 100% true. Person fought a bear. Person won. And one of the people that fought the bear and won was like 70 years old. Humans are way more capable than we give credit for. There's a reason we're the dominant species on the planet. We didn't become the dominant species by accident. We didn't become the dominant species by accident. We are dominant because we're really good at being strong or being better than all of the other species at, getting rid of other species. We've been the dominant species since for a long time, before firearms were a thing. Yeah, that is very true, Big. That is very true. The only advantage a gorilla has is its size. Once we outmass it, we win against the gorilla every time, right? Gorillas are not are how many? I don't know. I'll have to find out. Hippo, I would say, do we have to get in the water with it? Water is a big deal. Do we have to get in its environment? Because if we're on land, I think 10 people could still kill a hippo. But if we're in the water, it changes. Yeah, it was
It was mostly like wearing them out. It was a cardio adventure more than anything. They kind of chased them until they basically wore them out physically, and then killed them. So if we got to get in the water with a hippo, it's going to take a lot more humans. Fatigue is a big deal. Gorillas are going to get fatigued very quickly. They're not cardio animals. They're not cardio animals. Hippos, I don't know their cardio levels, I'm going to be honest. If we have to get in the water with the hippo, I'm giving it to the hippo up to 20 humans. But if we can get it on land, I think 10 can still take a hippo. So the thing is, I haven't done any research on the hippo, all right? Give me some time. Give me some time. It might take more than 20 to get a hippo, but I still think 20 would be a pretty Do you realize how many 20 people is? 20 is a lot of people. It doesn't sound like a big number, right? But you have 20 people at an average, let's say at an average of 180, let's say 200 pounds, right? 20 people at 200 pounds. That's a lot of body weight, guys. That's a lot of human. All right. Yes, bare hands only. Bare hands only. That being said, mind you guys, all of these scenarios put humans at a disadvantage automatically by taking away one of our biggest developments as a species, which is our ability to make weapons. We have to put ourselves at a disadvantage because we're too good at winning if we don't, right? It's like, hey, but if you use weapons, it's cheating. Is it? Is it? If they could do it, they'd be making weapons too. You think a gorilla wouldn't make a spear if it knew how to make a spear? So the fact that we have to set prerequisite disadvantages, right? That's weird how you said that, Josh. I'm gonna be honest. But the fact we have to put ourselves at a pre-disadvantage, like automatically to make it fair, all right? Yeah, you give a gorilla a handgun and see if it doesn't go ham, all right?
Here's what's happening.
What's up, boss? That being said, regardless of your thought process, I 100% believe I'm good for at least 3 gorillas. At least 3 gorillas minimum. Personally. I know it's not for everybody, right? But I could 100% hand to hand 3 gorillas before I'd be overwhelmed. That's just me. I'm just built a little different. I'm a little faster and a little bit stronger than most, you know what I'm saying? 3 gorillas, pretty easy work. 4 gorillas, I'm gonna have to take a break. But I feel like, you know, a refresher and back in it. So I'm good for at least a hippo. You gotta go for the eyes, I feel like. At least 1 hippo. You don't let them grab your arm. All right, so people put yourself in an advantage, all right, when it comes to the gorilla fight, all right? I'm not going to let the gorilla know I'm there until I'm already on top of it, got it in a headlock, and I'm going for the eyes, all right? Get your arm up around its neck and start jabbing at its eye, all right? That's how you get it. A blind gorilla is not a good gorilla, you know what I'm saying? So, you got to take out the gorilla's eyes first, and then you can hammer away at the gorilla all day, all right? Just bop it on the head. But you got to get the eyes first. No, I wouldn't recommend that part. See, that's where the built different part comes in, Eric. That's where the built different part comes in. It might throw you off its back, but me, that's not going to happen. Grab it by the ear. But if he can't see me, cowboy, look, random, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, random info short. Maybe you smell enough for them to smell you from a distance. But I'm going to sneak up on the gorilla, personally. And I don't even have to. We'll square up. It's fine. Me and the gorilla, we can square up. I'm good for 3 of them, by the way. I'm good for 3 of them. Once you get one gorilla on the ground and done, the other gorillas are going to be kind of uneasy. So it gets easier progressively as you take out each gorilla. It's about the headlock. I just said that. You got to get up behind the gorilla, and as soon as you get your arm around its neck, right? You gotta hold that lock, all right? If you can get the gorilla in a headlock, everything else is way easier. Maybe your arm, Adam. Maybe your arm. My arms don't do that. Random info short. I'm not anywhere near a jungle. In fact, I think that's why I was born where I'm at in South Carolina. I'm in South Carolina now, but I was born in the U.S. Right, and that was actually for the safety of the gorillas, because they knew that one day I was gonna need to fight a gorilla, and they wanted to keep as much distance between us as possible. So I'm pretty sure that's why I am where I am, because it's a long trip to go find a gorilla. I don't like to fly personally, so but if the time ever comes. Don't matter how strong their neck is, all right, if they can't breathe. Get up in a tree, and as they're coming up underneath the tree, you drop out of the tree like this, like shah. And then as you land on their back, you wrap it up just like that. Next thing they know, they're in the trunk of the car. You know what I'm saying? Next thing they know, they're in the trunk of the car. I'm built different, Trayvon. I'm built different. But obviously this gorilla conversation is just a bigger conversation, all wrapped into one, right? It's what level of animal do we think we wouldn't win, right? Like I know I've got the gorilla, easy, right? No questions. I think we've pretty much established that right now in the chat, that I'm 1v1ing a gorilla, hands down, no problems. Kangaroo, I got 10 kangaroos, easy. You just got to get behind them, all right? Dog, easy work. The only one that's going to give me some trouble is anything in the water, I feel like. But I'm good for a hippo on land for sure. In the water, it's going to be a little tougher. I'm going to need a snorkel. if I can get a snorkel, my chances on the hippo in the water are probably 10 times what it was prior to the snorkel use. Now, once we get in the ocean, it gets a little tricky though. I on a real note, 100%, 100%. I could handle a kangaroo. I could handle 10 kangaroos, 100%. 100%. Don't get in its mouth, random. Why would you get in the hippo's mouth? See, you're not thinking. You're not big braining this. You stay out of the hippo's mouth. If you're not in the hippo's mouth, it can't bite you. Oh, mountain lion, easy work. I'm different though, Josh. I'm different. Ugh. This deadlift weighs more than the average gorilla, okay? Just to give y'all perspective, all right? Exactly. You ever seen a kangaroo deadlift 400 plus? Never. Gorillas range anywhere from 300 to, gorillas get, the average gorilla is around like 300 pounds, all right? I actually looked that number up. That's a legitimate number. 300 pounds is a relatively normal gorilla, right? 300 pounds. Maybe not a silverback, but about 300 pounds for a gorilla. It's a male gorilla. I've got that for reps on the bench, all right? I've got that for reps on the bench. I can bench a gorilla for reps. Easy work. Gorillas are easy work. Anybody know the weight ratio on a hippo? How much does a hippo weigh? It don't matter if it's muscle or not. Everything gets thrown the same way. 1,000 pounds? Yeah, people deadlift that. This weighs more than your average gorilla right here. This 405. This is a little bit more than your average gorilla. All right. How many gorillas you know that? Have you ever seen a gorilla deadlift? No. It's because they don't work out. You ever seen a gorilla in the gym? Absolutely not. Gorillas are not prepared. They haven't been training. All right. You ever seen a gorilla on a speed bag? Absolutely not. I'll be honest, the elephant's probably going to give me a little bit more of a run for my money, all right? Elephant would give me a bit of a run for my money. I'm not saying it would win easily. I would say a draw for the elephant because I'm not big on climbing, and I feel like I'd have to climb to fight the elephant, right? Like You're punching it in its toes. I mean, in my defense, guys, I have survived a tiger attack at one point in my life. So I did survive a tiger attack. I was bitten by a tiger. I am still here. Tigers are pretty dangerous animals. Ugh. Legitimately, though, I have actually been bitten by a tiger once. I was bitten by a tiger once. That's legitimate. That actually happened. That actually happened. So it was not through a fence, actually. So I actually did a private tiger encounter 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, somewhere in there. It's been a few years, but I did. I could definitely take a deer, 100%. That's not even. That's easy. But I did a private tiger encounter. Me, my wife, my mother-in-law, and my eldest son. It was like $500 for the whole encounter, but I got to play with the tiger. I got to play with the tiger, and it bit my hand. It bit my hand. It was a juvenile tiger. It was a small tiger, but it was a tiger. It was a tiger. I was playing tug of war with it. And we're just in some bleachers, and the tiger's on my lap, and I'm playing tug of war with the tiger, and it got a little rowdy, and it nipped down on my hand real quick. Didn't hurt me or nothing. Nipped down on my hand real quick. But from a technical perspective, I have been bitten by a tiger. Technical perspective, all right, and survived. Very sweet tiger. It 100% counts. I was bitten by a tiger. Its mouth went around my hand and it bit me. That is bitten by a tiger. A deer is 100% light work. I have no problem. I've carried deer in and out of the woods. Deers are not all that. All right, I could handle a deer pretty easily. Plus, deer are very, very, very skittish. The hard part is going to be catching the deer. Oh, I'm 100% sure on the deer. I have 100% carried deer out of the wood by myself. Me and my wife hunt once a year. I think the heaviest deer we had to move out of the woods was about 180. We don't get much over that here. But obviously the wife isn't going to carry the deer. So guess who gets to carry the deer? There's a pic in the Discord, actually, Mark. There's a pic of me with the deer, but not me carrying the deer, obviously. But there's a pic of me with the deer. And I was actually, that's when I was 117 pounds, and I got that deer out of the woods. So once a year we hunt a deer, yeah. We eat our deer when we hunt them, so we only hunt once a year. No, deer get pretty heavy, Josh. Deer get pretty heavy. You go out to the Midwest, they get even heavier. There's some big old deer out there. But there's a picture of me with the deer on the Discord. Go to the pictures. There's a picture of me on the Discord with the deer. So we processed that deer right there in the yard. Right there in the yard. We weighed it, processed it right in the yard. I mean, so here's the thing. The majority of human beings get winded walking down their stairs to their apartment building. So you take the average human and you put them in any situation and they're gonna fold. I didn't see that, no, Lewis. Ah, gotcha. A bear, I'm 100%. I'm taking a black bear out. Brown bear, like a grizzly, gonna be a little tougher. I'm gonna fight it though. Kangaroo is light work, 100% light work. Hey, that's deer level work. That's like kangaroo's just an Australian deer, right? So, um, we finished lifting big. We got competition a couple days. It's a light session this week. Saturday's competition. So the grizzly bear, gonna be a little tougher. But I'm not gonna run from a grizzly bear either. Why am I not gonna run from a grizzly bear? Because then I'm just gonna be tired and then still have to fight a grizzly bear because they're faster on average than any human. So I'm not playing dead. I'm throwing hands with look, I am not gonna die by a grizzly bear and also be tired and look like a punk all at the same time. I'm going out looking at least brave, all right? I'm throwing hands. What am I doing in a shark attack? I'm bite the shark. You bite it. They're not expecting it. Nothing bites sharks. Sharks bite things. They don't usually get bitten. You bite a shark, it's gonna throw it off. It's gonna be trying to figure out what's going on. You get one good bite on its fin, that shark is not coming back for round 2. All right. Exactly, reverse Uno card. Plus, don't forget, sharks are extremely smooth. So, they're the smoothest sea animal. So, it's very easy to get a good bite on a shark. Big, we finished the workout. We worked out for about an hour and a half tonight. Shorter sets. I have competition on Saturday, so we're not doing a lot today or tomorrow. Could I get sick after biting the shark? I don't know. I've never had to bite a shark personally. I know I could if I had to. But honestly, if you're in a shark attack situation, you're probably not super concerned on whether or not you're going to get a cold after biting a shark fin. Honestly, just the story alone of how you fought off a shark with your teeth is worth whatever bug you get, I guess, afterwards. Exactly, Josh. Me versus the shark, I'm biting the fin. Antibiotics and glory. I like that. But as much as I'm enjoying explaining why I am above the rest of the animal kingdom in terms of what could win in a fight, it is time for me. It is time for me to go get some rest. I might stream tomorrow. Probably not a lifting stream tomorrow, but we'll see. We have competition on Saturday. So, but appreciate y'all being here. We'll be back tomorrow and then Saturday and then Sunday and then Monday with more tips on how to survive the animal kingdom. Obviously, full disclosure, I'm not a marine biologist or a zookeeper, but I'm very sure that I could beat any Australian deer in a one-on-one, also known as a kangaroo. in a one-on-one. So, but nonetheless, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys later. I would 100% take a special on Animal Planet. 100% take a special on Animal Planet. Just put me out in the Everglades with a pair of boxing gloves. But all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm glad, Michael. I wish you the best.